First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who will well, and peace and salutations to the elect Akim. Four corners, Christian truth and sincerity. Peace be unto you. This lesson will be about, I'm going to title it, What the Fuck is a Biracial? Now, according to the European construct of things, they refer to a person, let's say, and just keeping the context of just so-called black and so-called white people, you know. Barack Obama being an example. So Barack Obama has a melanated African father, and his mother is a white European lady. Through that marriage, or through that conception, you got what's called a so-called biracial child. Now, according to scriptures, there is no such thing as biracial. You are of the seed of your father. I'm going to get this in Numbers chapter 1. Verse 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, not of their mothers, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So they was in the Bible, they were constructing their family lineage by their fathers. They weren't going over by the father and the mother. You know, they weren't doing that because the mother could have been a heathen. The mother could have been an Ephraimite, and the father could have been a Naphthalite. But the child is going to be of the father of the lineage of Naphtali if the father is. It's not go according to the man and the woman. It goes strictly according to the male. Now, in the Indo-European concept, they understand this as well, even though they throw this biracial bullshit at you. Now, if you look at the prefix biracial of the prefix bi, the word bi is a prefix that means two. So you got bi, which means two, racial, which means race. You can't be two races at one time. And this is how they confuse some of you so-called tribes, some of you so-called African Americans, by calling you African and American after two white people. And actually, America is a corporation, so they're calling you after a corporation. If you work for, let's say, the corporation of Oracle, or you work for Microsoft, you don't call yourself Microsoft. It's a corporation. The concept of biracial is about calling you after two races, because you can't be two races. So a person can't be biracial. Now, if you look at, now what I was saying in the European concept, if you look at haplogroups, you got maternal haplogroups and you got paternal haplogroups. And now you can only belong to one haplogroup, no matter if you're so-called biracial or not. You can only belong to one. So if you're a Chinese man and you have a child with a Polynesian woman, you're not going to belong to two different haplogroups. You're going to belong to only one haplogroup. Either one maternal haplogroup or one paternal haplogroup. But you're not going to belong to two maternal haplogroups and two paternal. You're going to belong to one. And if you look at the prefix Salakia haplo in the word haplogroup, the prefix haplo means one. Haplo means one, group meaning many. So you belong to one group. You don't belong to multiple groups. And this is in a European concept. So also give you another example of how you can't be biracial. Because if you saying that this person is biracial, then you'd have to say everybody's biracial, because we all come from Adam, and eventually we all have some not everybody doesn't in your family lineage. If you go all the way back, it's not going to always consistently be a male constantly having children with his own nation. That's not always going to be. You're going to find a heathen woman up in there. You might find, if you're a heathen, you might find even an Israelite woman up in there. But it doesn't matter. It goes by the paternal, that Y chromosome, which gets passed down from the father to either the daughter or the father to the son. And then if it's a daughter, if she has a child, she's going to pass on the chromosome from her husband. So whatever she chooses to lay down with and marry, that's what she's going to be. So you can't belong to two haplogroups, and you damn sure can't be of two races. Because let's say if a person is going back to Barack Obama, for example, he's got a Hamite father and an Edomite mother. Now, he's not going to be able to. Obama's not going to be able to identify himself as both black and both white. You got white people, they don't accept him as being black. Now, this is just like far as opinion. But you got so-called black people that consider him, one of them, which he's actually a Hamite, but he's not going to be accepted in both. I don't care what mixed race you are, you're not going to be accepted in both, because deep down people know that you can't belong to both. So this whole concept of biracial, which is stupid. Just like how everybody say, oh well, during slavery, you had the slave master that they used to rape the black woman, have kids, so you mixed. Hey, if that's the case, if you're a product of a white man raping a black woman, then you would tear. You not part black and part white, and a few generations down, if you kind of keep breeding in with a black, no, your haplogroup is determined by your father. Your paternal haplogroup is determined by your father. You cannot belong to two. I don't care how you try to spin science, you can't. Also, if you look even in the animal world, you can have animals of the same genus but different species. They can breed sometimes together. For example, a tiger and a lion. A tiger and a lion, they both belong to the same genus, but they're both two different species. Now, let's say a male lion mates with a tiger. That the byproduct of that bond is going to be called a liger, after the father, which would be the lion. Now, let's say a male tiger mates with a female lion. They don't call it a liger. It's not called that. It's called something else. It's called a tigon. Why? Because it's different. It's a different father. For one, you got a male tiger impregnated female lion. The other, you got a male lion impregnated a female tiger. It's going to be two different. It's going to be two different manners. But the liger is going to be more closely related to the lion, because the lion passed on his seed unto the female tiger, which just cultivated it and brought forth birth, and that's all it did. But it's going to still belong to that same species, because it's not going to be able to create a whole nother species of itself. It's going to belong to one species. That animal, that liger, is not going to belong to both of them at the same time. It's not going to belong to both the tiger family and the female. The tiger family and the lion family. The liger is going to be a lion. It's going to be a lion with a tiger for a mom. And on that note, we give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rokah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles, elders, GMS, who were well. Peace and salutation. Shalom.